So many people ask me, how are you so happy? How are you always so unbothered? And even a good friend of mine asked me the other day, she's like, how do I get to where you are? She's like, you're always so positive, you're so unbothered, but you can see that you're just genuinely happy and content no matter what happens. Especially because about a year ago she seen me and she's like, you were a mess, like you were miserable. She's like, you were barely holding it together, like what did you do to get here? And the answer is, I chose myself. I chose to be happy, and I chose people who choose me, and I chose to stop entertaining anyone that doesn't. I chose self-respect, and I took a good look at my life, all the things that broke my heart, all the people that I try to make stay. I stopped forcing things, basically. I accepted people for who they were, and I stopped trying to convince anyone of my worth. The only person I had to convince really for a little while was myself, because I had so many people always treat me like I was worth less than, like I had to compete for love, like I had to earn their attention, their respect. Like I had to lower my standards to fit into their world. And I had to sacrifice the things that I wanted and needed to feel safe and valued. And I decided to stop doing that. And then I realized along the way that the thing that made me miserable was the fact that I kept trying to force things. I kept trying to force people to stay, and it really caused resistance, and it built resentment, and eventually they left anyway. And then it was like when things fell apart, the only person I had was myself. And I realized all the ways that I wasn't choosing myself in situations, how I prioritize everyone else above myself. And by doing that, it ate away at the best parts of me. It's like I allowed other people to disrespect me. So in turn, I was disrespecting myself. And no matter how hard I tried to hold on to things, to people, the universe humbled me. It was teaching me a lesson in self-love. It was teaching me to choose myself no matter what, to stop holding on to people and to just learn to detach, because that feeling, that urgency, that codependency, that need to prove myself, it was something in me that I'd been trying to fill my whole entire life. And I was trying to make other people step up and be something that they weren't, to fill that void. And in the last 3 years, I have been through a lot of things that broke me at times. I had my heart broken. I went through a lot of traumatic events. And along the way, I realized that I wasn't happy living my life the way I was living it. I wasn't happy chasing love, chasing people. And deep down, I didn't love myself. I thought I did. I'd convinced myself I did. But then eventually I decided to treat myself like someone I love. I wouldn't allow my children to accept the things that I was accepting. I decided to live my life as if I've never been broken, as if I've always been loved right. And I realized along the way that what we do is we prioritize people and we form attachments to people, because what they do is they mirror our wound, the love we never received, the validation we never got. And it doesn't always happen straight away. They mirror behaviors that feel like home to us. But then along the way, these people detach. And I feel on a soul level, that's exactly what they're supposed to do. It's like a soul contract. These people came in to teach us that we didn't need them to feel whole, and that they weren't the answer, because when these things leave us, that's when we're left and we're devastated and we feel like we can't go on without them. But then somehow we do. And along the way, we tend to neglect the people that are always there for us. We kind of take them for granted. The day ones, the people like our children that are always there, our friends that show up when the world falls apart on us. And sometimes no one's there. Sometimes no one shows up. And when that happens, I feel it's because we aren't, in some way, we're not showing up for ourselves. We're giving all our time and energy into everyone around us, into helping other people, and subconsciously it is a deflection. We want to help everyone else. We want to make everyone else feel like they're valuable, because it makes us feel like we're important, we're valued, we have a purpose, we mean something. And then when they pull away and they're okay, then we're left with ourselves and we feel like that's not enough. And that is our wound telling us we're not enough because people leave. But it's not people abandoning us, it's people mirroring the ways that we abandon ourselves. How can you expect someone else to stand up and respect you, someone else to value you, your time, your effort, your energy, when you don't do that for yourself? You prioritize filling everyone else's cup, and when they're gone, you're left with an empty cup and you feel like there's nothing left. So what I did is I sat with it. It was uncomfortable. I cried. I acknowledged my feelings. I stopped pretending I was okay. I stopped self-sabotaging. I stopped numbing. And I learned to let go. I let go of people who wanted to exit my life. I let them learn the hard way that I was actually valuable. I let them be wrong about me. And I stopped caring what everyone thought. And what mattered was what I thought about me. And I started giving myself the love that I was searching for outside of myself. I started valuing my own time. I started with boundaries that I should have had all the time. I had a good look at why things went wrong. And I stopped ignoring red flags in people, and I walked away sooner. The old me was a people pleaser. I didn't want to hurt people's feelings. I didn't want to abandon people. I didn't want them to make them feel like people in the past have made me feel like I wasn't good enough. But I realized that that's something we all need to do for ourselves. We're not responsible for fixing anybody or for making someone else feel like they're valued. It's nice when you can, but in the end, someone can tell you that you're worth it, that you're worthy, that you deserve all these things. But when you don't feel it within yourself, it falls on deaf ears. I'm going to share with you an analogy that my ex said to me. When we were together, I showed up as the best version of me. I was patient with him. I was forgiving. I was understanding. I was soft. I was kind. And I treated him the way I wanted to be treated. I was so patient. And I tried my best to make him feel like he was worthy, like he was valued, like he was important, and that he was lovable. And the more I did, the less he felt like he was. Because me standing in my authenticity, me standing in my softness, me giving him that love, what it actually did was trigger the trauma in him that he had still not resolved within himself. It triggered his childhood trauma of when he was abandoned by his parents and then his siblings, and he never felt like he was good enough. My softness triggered that part of him that told him that he didn't deserve a love like mine. And even though he wanted it, he couldn't hold it because he hadn't done the healing, and his self-concept was still attached to his old mindset that told him he wasn't enough. So he chased people that didn't give him the love so easily. His trauma was love was always out of reach. Funny enough, that was my same trauma that he was mirroring. We were both used to chasing and earning love. And when it was freely given, we didn't know how to hold it. And then he said to me one day, he's like, it's not that I don't love you. It's never been that. He said, please don't ever question your worth. It's nothing you've done. He just didn't feel worthy of me. He didn't feel like he deserved someone like me. And the analogy he used, he's like, you're like, I was quite offended at the time, to be fair. He said I was like a bird, a fragile bird. And he wanted to hold me in his hands, and he wanted to keep this bird because it brought him comfort, it brought him love. And he loved this bird. But deep down he knew that keeping that bird was selfish. That bird deserved the world. And that he couldn't give it what the bird needed, which was freedom, love, and to be with other birds. And again, I think I was mirroring that, because in a way, if we're going to use that same analogy, he was like a bird with a broken wing who came to me. He needed healing, so I healed him. And when he felt great, it got to a point where I had to let him go and be free. And then hope that one day that bird comes back and finds me one day. Anyway, so somewhere along the line, I just got off track. I've been through all these things, and I realized, looking back and reflecting, that every time I try to hold on so tightly to things, it got ripped away. And as soon as I stopped doing that, I decided I'm going to give all my energy to me. I no longer want to repeat the same patterns, the same cycles. And there was temptation there at times, but the longer I sat with myself, the longer I prioritized myself, the longer I prioritized the things that I held of value that was always there for me, like my kids, and the people that were there when my world fell apart. They earned a place in my life, but they came after me. And that's when I felt this sense of peace within myself. That's when I started to enjoy life. And it didn't depend on anyone else or anything. It's like over these last few years, everything got ripped away from me that meant the most to me. And the one thing that remained was me. So I learned to sit with myself. I learned to appreciate everything. I found gratitude even in the pain, even in the lessons. And it was the best gift that I could ever ask for. I started standing on my boundaries and standing on my worth. And then eventually I believed it. And people believed it. I mean, some people walked away because they knew they weren't ready, and I didn't care. I stopped holding on to it, and I decided I no longer wanted to do the same things I've always done. And that's when I found that true happiness. So now I don't say yes to things that aren't in alignment with me. I don't feel bad about saying no. And I stopped people pleasing and I learned to please myself. And something shifted. It really did. Everything. And I got to a point where I wouldn't trade any of it. Like, I would rather be on my own and have peace and live with integrity and value myself, my time, my energy, and feel this feeling that I feel now than to accept the same things that took away from that. And I guess, short answer long, I guess that's what it is. That's how I got there. I stopped saying yes to the same things that broke me. I started just waiting a little bit longer for what I deserve than accepting those small short-term validations that felt good in the moment but would eventually be ripped away and long-term not be fulfilling anyway. And I knew I was healing because it got easier and easier, but then this last couple of weeks I've had major tragedies in my life, and that inner peace, that groundedness, that solid feeling within myself, that it got me through. It's like now I'm unshakable, I'm unbreakable. I am so content that anything that comes my way now, or anything that doesn't come my way, I'm good with it. I'm not looking for anything outside of myself. And I can feel something coming in. I can feel it in my bones that I'm about to get what I deserve. And I'm okay with waiting a little longer to get it rather than settle for less.